Hi there, it's Sherry Schreiber of GettingBetter.com, and this is just for you gals today, you women. Okay? Before you go to bed with somebody, don't ever, ever, ever even think of bringing his attention to what you think are your body flaws. Don't ever, 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 ever do that. I want to teach you about men and their sexuality and what's happening for them as they're getting excited about getting into the box with you. When you talk to somebody about your wide thighs or your small breasts or whatever it is you're thinking of letting them know you already are aware of, and you're in a sense bringing their attention to it because you're making an apology for that part of your anatomy, don't do it ever. It's stupid. Because if you don't point it out, he's not going to see it, my dears. He's not going to see it. He's in his excitement. He wants to feel you, smell you, touch you, taste you. He doesn't notice if your thighs are a little rumply, or if your eyebrows aren't on straight, or if your breasts are a little saggy or too small. He's not going to care. He's not going to notice. Do not bring his attention to it. Do not mention these things that you think are flaws about yourself. Years ago, it's a lot of years ago now, because I was around 40 at the time. I met a young man. He was actually 10 years my junior, so he was 30. And he had been involved with a Pilates instructor prior to meeting me. That was his last relationship. So you know he was used to being with a hard body, a woman whose body was perfectly toned and taut and probably magnificent. Well, even when I was young, I didn't have a hard body. And if you don't think this gave me a few moments of pause and concern, you're either crazy or stupid. Of course I had a moment there where I went, uh-oh, I'm not toned and tight. That's 40 years old. I'm not toned and tight. I've never been an athletic sort of person. I've spent way too much time fixing the inside part of me to be concerned about the outside part of me, the veneer, if you will. So here's what I decided. I decided that I was going to be the most sexy, incredibly alluring creature he'd ever met. And I acted as though I was. I just immersed myself in that role. I was going to be the most erotic, sexy, magnificent, gorgeous, alluring female this young man had ever been with, bar none. And as that's what I held for myself, that's all he saw. And I was utterly captivating for him. Utterly captivating. He didn't see my dimpled thighs. He didn't see my too soft fanny. He didn't pay attention to the aging parts of my body. He just saw me the way I was determined to have him see me. That's all. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't boast about anything with him where my veneer was concerned. I just projected that alluring image. And that's what he responded to, that confidence that I carried into the bedroom. Never once would I allow myself to think about what's wrong with my body, what might he find fault with. Never once. I just made up my mind. It was kind of a social experiment, if you will, that was very intimate and personal to me. I just decided to try this. And I made a mark on that young man's life like no other female ever had, sexually and otherwise. So, ladies, please don't ever, ever, ever do this with anybody. If you're in a homosexual relationship, don't do this with anybody. If they see something, it's not going to, that you think is one of your tragic flaws, and believe me, it's much more tragic and big to you than it ever will be seen or observed by that other person, that lover. It's going to be inconsequential to them. Really it is. It's not going to matter to them. It's going to be minuscule in context of the excitement they feel with you in the moment. The real you, the authentic you, the essence of you, the genuine you, the you are personality-wise. Now, I have for years in my practice recommended a few different films for women with poor body image to watch, to rent, to watch, to see on Netflix if they could find it. One was a film with Gerard Depardieu called Too Beautiful for You. And the other film was a wonderful movie called Baghdad Cafe. I'm really happy I can remember these titles at this point because I watched these things decades ago. They were magnificent films in terms of helping to rearrange a female's sense of body image and what's acceptable to a man and what is not. So try and catch those films. Too Beautiful for You, foreign film, and Baghdad Cafe, because it's all about who you are inside and what comes through and how you interact with that other person, than whether or not your thighs are too wide or big or fleshy or whatever the fuck, or you've got a little belly fat on you. Okay, don't go there with your lovers, ever. I hope this is helpful to you today. I'm making this brief and short because I'm expecting a handsome young man to come and talk to me about maybe changing my internet and TV service today, and he's on his way here. No, I'm not going to try and seduce him, but the thought of it came up. It's kind of a lovely nostalgic moment for me of years past. So remember this. Do not forget this. Do not ever, ever, ever point out what you think are your flaws or your shortcomings or your imperfections to somebody, ever. Because if you don't point them out, they're not going to be aware of them. They're not going to see them. And the minute you do that, if you do that, that pointing out thing, that's all they can see. From that point forward, that's all they will ever see when they look at you. And it sends the message, I don't like myself. I'm not comfortable naked with you. I'm self-conscious. This is going to really intrude on my ability to relax and have a good time in bed with you. And nobody wants to be with that. Ugh. Ew. By the way, that young man that I was involved with a lot of years ago, almost 3 decades now, he started pointing out his flaws, what he thought were his flaws on his body. That was kind of trippy. Okay. He had a concavity in his chest, just between his rib cage. He had a deep depression there. It was unusual. It was anomalous. But if he hadn't pointed it out, I probably would never have noticed it. Stupid, ridiculous. But he was showing me how insecure he was. Okay. All right. Hope this is helpful to you. Integrate this. Don't ever forget this. No matter what, you're the sexiest, most alluring, most sensuous creature this person has ever met. And go in with that. Fake it till you make it. Bye for now.